A very good morning. It's just past 8 this Monday morning and time again for the breakfast show. I'm Rukma and with me is Preeti. A very good morning to you,
Morning,
Preeti.
Rukma.
And over the next 1 hour, we take you through the major happenings from across India and the world. As the second phase of the budget session begins, we go through some of the significant legislations to be taken up in the House. Delhi Police's adept handling of rumors doing the rounds in the national capital, news from the apex court as well as from Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes, added to that, we'll get you an update on the coronavirus situation. Also, we'll get you what is making news in the international world, also from the world of business and sports. Lots to keep you glued for the next 1 hour. Stay with us. First, we get to the top stories.
Second part of the budget session of Parliament to begin today. Number of important bills including medical termination of pregnancy amendment and direct tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill 2020 scheduled to be taken up by both houses of Parliament.
Amid rumors of unrest in various parts of Delhi, police asks people not to believe rumors, says situation is normal. Social media being monitored and action will be taken against rumor mongers. Board examinations for class 10th and 12th in the Northeast district to be conducted as per schedule.
Five-judge bench of the Supreme Court to pronounce order on a plea to refer to a larger bench. Petitions challenging abrogation of provisions of Article 370. Apex Court to also hear curative petition filed by 2012 Nirbhaya death row convict Pawan Kumar Gupta.
Big success for security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. Security forces arrest 2 active terrorists of Lashkar-e-Taiba in Srinagar, and in another incident, police arrests 4 terrorist associates in Budgam along with arms and ammunition.
In international news, all crew members of COVID-19 hit Diamond Princess cruise in Japan disembark. Crew leaves the ship for 14 days of quarantine ashore. Nearly 130 people test negative for the virus and will spend 14 days at quarantine before being allowed to leave Japan.
And in sports, chasing a all-free victory target of 132 runs, New Zealand on course to an easy win in Christchurch Test match against India. Trent Boult and Tim Southee shared 7 wickets, amongst them to bowl India out for 124 runs in the second innings.
Punjab University Chandigarh gets top prize in first ever Khelo India University Games at Bhubaneswar. Savitribai Phule University Pune takes second spot, while Punjabi University Patiala finished third.
All right, those are the top stories. We'll get to the news in detail now. The top news, that is the second part of the budget session of Parliament, will begin today. Important among the bills to be taken up would be the medical termination of pregnancy and direct tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill 2020. These will be taken up by both the houses of Parliament. During the session, demand for grants of various ministries including railways, social justice and empowerment, tourism and health will be discussed. In Rajya Sabha, the bills for consideration and passage for today include Central Sanskrit Universities Bill 2019. The bill aims to establish and incorporate universities for teaching and research in Sanskrit, to develop all-inclusive Sanskrit promotional activities, and to provide for matters connected therewith or the incidental thereto, as passed by Lok Sabha. The National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Bill 2019 is also scheduled for consideration and passage. The bill is on improving the medical education system to ensure quality and affordable medical education, which will ensure availability of adequate and high quality medical professionals of the Indian system of medicine in all parts of the country. The bill will encourage community health perspective and make services of such medical professionals accessible to all citizens. The National Commission for Homeopathy Bill 2019 is also scheduled for consideration and passage. The bill ensures availability of adequate and high quality homeopathy medical professionals in all parts of the country. The bill also promotes equitable and universal healthcare that encourages community health perspective and makes services of homeopathy medical professionals accessible to all the citizens. And in Lok Sabha, the bills that are scheduled to be introduced include Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Bill 2020, Mineral Laws Amendment Bill 2020, while the bills for consideration and passage include Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill 2020 and also Aircraft Amendment Bill 2020. All right, our correspondent Bikramjeet Singh is joining us to get us more on that. Bikram, we've given details of the bills and the legislative business that is to be taken up, but then the crux of the issue is, and also what the papers here in Delhi are reporting about the strategy or the approach of the opposition is very critical at this point in time. Let us know, how do we expect the budget session to be in progress as it begins today?
देखिए, जो तीसरा सत्र है इस लोकसभा का, उसका जो दूसरा भाग अब आज से शुरू हो रहा है, तो जहां विपक्ष के द्वारा पूरी सरकार को घेरने की तैयारी की गई है, तो वहीं सरकार के द्वारा भी पूरी रणनीति बनाई गई है कि सभा पटल पर किस प्रकार से विपक्ष के आरोपों का जवाब देना है। तो दोनों ही तरफ से जो है, चाहे विपक्ष हो चाहे सत्ता पक्ष हो, दोनों ही तैयार हैं अपने अपने तर्कों को लेकर। और जहां तक आज की बात करें कि आज क्या क्या बिजनेस है राज्यसभा में, तो प्रहलाद जोशी, किरण रिजिजू, अर्जुन राम मेघवाल, बाबुल सुप्रियो और प्रताप सिंह सारंगी जो है अपने अपने मंत्रालयों से संबंधित जो पेपर हैं वो सभा पटल पर रखेंगे। इसके अलावा अगर बिलों की बात करें राज्यसभा में, तो सेंट्रल संस्कृत यूनिवर्सिटी बिल 2019 जो है सभा पटल पर रखा जाएगा। ये बिल जो है संस्कृत के प्रचार प्रसार से संबंधित है। इसके अलावा नेशनल कमीशन फॉर इंडियन सिस्टम ऑफ मेडिसिन बिल 2019 को जो है सभा पटल पर राज्यसभा में रखा जाएगा। इसके अलावा नेशनल कमीशन फॉर होम्योपैथी बिल 2019 को राज्यसभा में सभा पटल पर रखा जाएगा। वहीं पर अगर लोकसभा की अगर बात करें, तो धर्मेंद्र प्रधान, संतोष कुमार गंगवार और अनुराग सिंह ठाकुर जो है अपने अपने मंत्रालयों से संबंधित जो पेपर हैं वो सभा पटल पर रखेंगे। इसके अलावा रेलवे की स्टैंडिंग कमेटी की रिपोर्ट भी राधा मोहन सिंह सभा पटल पर रखेंगे। और जहां तक बिलों के इंट्रोड्यूस की बात करें, तो मेडिकल टर्मिनेशन ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी अमेंडमेंट बिल 2019, मिनरल लॉ अमेंडमेंट बिल 2020, जिसे प्रहलाद जोशी सभा पटल पर रखेंगे, उसको इंट्रोड्यूस किया जाएगा। इसके अलावा डायरेक्ट टैक्स विवाद से विश्वास बिल 2020, जिसे कि निर्मला सीतारमण सभा पटल पर रखेंगे, उसको इंट्रोड्यूस किया जाएगा। विश्वास से विवाद जो बिल है, ये जो टैक्स से संबंधित जो विवाद रहते हैं इनकम टैक्स विभाग से, उनको किस प्रकार से हल किया जा सकता है, किन नियमों के तहत हल किया जा सकता है, उसके संबंधित ये बिल है।
Well, thank you very much, Vikram, for those updates from Parliament. And now moving on, amidst rumours of unrest in various parts of Delhi, police have asked people not to believe in rumours. Delhi police officials on Sunday interacted with people in various parts of the city, conveying that there's nothing to worry as the situation throughout the city is normal. Delhi Police PRO MS Randhawa said senior officers are monitoring the situation. He said that some of the people spreading rumours have been detained and will be interrogated. He assured that social media is also being monitored and appropriate action will be taken against rumor mongers.
तमाम दिल्ली में सिचुएशन बिल्कुल नॉर्मल है और हमारी सीनियर ऑफिसर्स मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं, कंट्रोल रूम पे भी मॉनिटर हो रही है और अभी कुछ कॉल्स आ रही हैं, तो आपके माध्यम से मैं तमाम दिल्ली वासियों को कहना चाहूँगा कि सिचुएशन बिल्कुल नॉर्मल है, इस कॉल्स पे ध्यान ना दें। और खासकर अभी वेस्ट दिल्ली और साउथ ईस्ट दिल्ली, मदनपुर खादर और जौहरी गार्डन, हरिनगर, ख्याला की कुछ कॉल्स आई हैं, इस पर बिल्कुल ध्यान ना दें और इन पे हम कार्रवाई करेंगे। इन जगह पे सिचुएशन पूरी नॉर्मल है, पुलिस पूरा जो सिचुएशन है अंडर कंट्रोल है। आपके माध्यम से मैं तमाम दिल्ली वासियों को ये श्योर करना चाहूँगा कि कहीं भी पैनिक करने की कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है। अगर इस तरह के कुछ एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट पैनिक कॉल्स करते हैं, उन पर दिल्ली पुलिस अलग से कार्रवाई करेगी।
And the CBSE board exams for class 10th and 12th in the Northeast district will be conducted as per schedule on the date sheet. At the same time, the board is prepared to hold examinations at a later date for candidates not able to appear for the examinations up to 7th of March 2020. School principals have been requested to provide lists of students unable to appear in the exams to be conducted up to 7th of March. The Directorate of Education, Delhi, has been requested by CBSE to provide a list of such candidates who would not be able to appear in the examinations up to the said date. Since Class 12th and Class 10th examinations will be conducted as per schedule, CBSE requests all concerned to provide support to the candidates who are able to appear for the examinations from today onwards. Now, these candidates who would not be able to appear are requested to contact their respective school principals, who would then send the report to the CBSE. The board is committed to take care of the interests of all its students.
And the Supreme Court will today hear the curative petition of 2012 Nirbhaya gang rape murder accused Pawan Gupta. The 5-judge Constitution bench headed by Justice N.V. Ramana, comprising Justice Arun Mishra, Justice R.F. Nariman, Justice R. Bhanumathi and Justice Ashok Bhushan will hear the matter. The development comes after Pawan Gupta had on Friday filed a curative petition before the top court urging to change his death sentence to life imprisonment. Curative petitions of the rest 3 have already been rejected by the top court in the past. Meanwhile, the Apex Court has also fixed March 5th to hear a petition which was filed by Union Ministry of Home Affairs seeking directions to separately execute the convicts.
The 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court will today pronounce order on a plea to refer to a larger bench the petitions challenging the abrogation of provisions of Article 370. The bench, headed by Justice N.V. Ramana, had on January 23rd reserved its order on this issue. Opposing the plea, the centre had said that abrogation of provisions of Article 370, which granted special status to erstwhile state of Jammu and Kashmir, has become a fait accompli, leaving sole option to accept the change. NGO People's Union of Civil Liberties, Jammu and Kashmir High Court Bar Association and an intervener have sought referring the matter to a larger bench. Now, referring the 2 earlier judgments, Attorney General K.K. Venugopal had said that they were not related to each other and dealt with different issues. He had said that the verdict in Premnath Kaul versus Jammu and Kashmir did not deal with Article 370, rather with the question whether the Maharaja tried the legislative power or not. While referring to the verdict in Sampath Prakash versus Jammu and Kashmir, Venugopal had said, though it dealt with some aspects of Article 370, it was not in direct conflict with the verdict in the Kaul case, and therefore the present issue ahead should not be referred to a larger bench. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, appearing for Jammu and Kashmir administration, had said that he adopts the arguments of the Attorney General and favours no references to larger bench. Senior Advocate Rajiv Dhawan, appearing for Jammu and Kashmir People's Conference, had said that he is supporting centre on the question that no reference is needed to a larger bench. All right, Vikas Sarthi is joining us to get us more on that. Vikas, 2 important issues that have to be taken up in the Supreme Court today. It will hear the curative petition of Nirbhaya gang rape murder case accused Pawan Gupta. Now, let us know, whatever the day holds for Pawan Gupta, will it be the last option left or the convicts, the rest, along with Pawan Gupta, have any more legal options left with them?
Well, Preeti, so far as Pawan Gupta is concerned, his curative petition will be heard by the Supreme Court at 10:25 a.m. in the morning, and whatever is the outcome of that curative petition, it is very likely that the curative petition will be dismissed, just like the curative petition of 3 other death row convicts. So if this petition also gets dismissed, then Pawan still has an option to file a mercy plea before the President of India. Meanwhile, there are some issues also pending with Patiala House Court. That matters will also be taken up by the court later in the day. But so far as the petition is concerned, for Pawan Gupta, it is the last legal option before a court is available. After that, he will file a mercy plea before the President of India. But on the basis of he again go either before the trial court or before the Supreme Court, and will seek a stay on the execution. Because even if his curative petition gets dismissed, he still have an option to file a mercy plea. Then the President will take a decision on that mercy plea, If that mercy plea also get rejected, then still Pawan will have at least 14 days. He cannot be executed before 14 days. So these are the options available before Pawan Gupta. But so far as the other 3 death row convicts are concerned, they have exhausted all their legal remedies as well as the option of mercy plea before the President of India.
Right, because, well, another important matter that the court will be hearing today and will be passing an order on is the plea of whether to refer the petitions challenging abrogation of provisions of Article 370 to a larger bench. How has that panned out till now, and what can we expect?
Well, Rukma, the Supreme Court will pass an order only limited to a very specific issue, whether this matter should be heard by a 5-judge constitution bench or this matter should be referred to a larger bench as being demanded by the counsel of the petitioner. So far as the government stand is concerned, though Attorney General sought outrightly rejection of petitions, but he says even if Supreme Court wants to hear these petitions, then a 5-judge constitution bench will be enough to deal with the issue, because the argument which is being raised by the petitioners that there are conflicting judgments of the Supreme Court is not correct. Those two judgments were different. There were different issues raised in both the cases, and because of that, the challenge to abrogation of Article 370 is a completely new issue before the Supreme Court, and a 5-judge constitution bench will be good enough to hear these petitions.
Right, Vikas. Well, thank you very much for joining us there and for your inputs. And now moving on, police in Srinagar have arrested 2 active terrorists affiliated with terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba. Acting on credible inputs, police along with security forces intercepted a vehicle on the Barzula, Chanapura road. While checking the vehicle with 2 persons on board, officers were able to recover arms and ammunition from their possession. They have been identified as Vakil Ahmed Bhatt alias Abu Zarar and Omar Ismail Das, both residents of Bijbihara, Anantnag. Both the terrorists have been arrested and are in custody. Incriminating materials, including arms and ammunition, have been recovered from their possession and have been taken into records for further investigations.
In another incident, police in Budgam arrested 4 terrorist associates and arms and ammunition recovered from their possession. On a credible input, police along with security forces arrested 4 terrorist associates identified as Muzamil Nabi, Umar Ajaz, both residents of Kanihama, Rauf Bhatt and Ishfaq Bhatt, both residents of Kantebag, SK-Pura. Now, as per the investigations, they were involved in providing logistic support and shelter to the active terrorists operating in the areas of Magam Budgam. Incriminating materials recovered from their possession has been seized and taken into case records for the purpose of investigation. Further investigation is in progress.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has said that the government is working on the issue of Indians in Iran anxious to return due to COVID-19. The tweet mentioned having seen his many tweets in this regard. He said that the government is collaborating with the Iranian authorities to set up a screening process for return of Indians. He added that India's ambassador to Iran, Dhammu Gadam, has been asked to keep all those concerned updated of the process. The minister assured that he is tracking the entire situation personally. Earlier, the Indian Embassy in Tehran had issued an advisory for Indians residing there and assured them that they were closely monitoring the situation. India had also issued a travel advisory on February 26 to avoid non-essential travel to Iran due to incidents of novel coronavirus infections. The advisory also said that in addition, people coming from Iran or having such travel history since 10th February may be quarantined for 14 days on arrival in India.
All the crew members from coronavirus-stricken cruise ship off Japan's Diamond Princess cruise ship have now been disembarked. The crew began leaving the Diamond Princess on Thursday for quarantine ashore after the last of the passengers had departed. Around 130 people, including the captain and 98 health ministry officials who were working aboard, tested negative for the virus as they left the vessel. They will spend 14 days at the government-designated dormitories before being allowed to leave Japan, while the vessel will be disinfected before sailing again. The quarantine has been heavily criticized after more than 700 people on board tested positive for the virus. The ship carried about 3,700 passengers and crew members when it reached the port of Yokohama.
Meanwhile, mainland China reported the biggest daily rise in coronavirus cases since the 22nd of February yesterday, as more infections emerged among prison inmates in the epicenter of the outbreak, Hubei. Officials, however, emphasize the overall situation continues to improve. The coronavirus outbreak that began in China has infected over 88,000 people globally, causing 3,000 deaths. A total of 2,870 have died from the outbreak in mainland China, and 79,824 have been infected by the virus. Chinese officials have reiterated that efforts to curb the outbreak are achieving positive results. The most affected countries after China are South Korea, where over 4,000 cases have been reported with 22 deaths. Italy, where 1,694 cases have been reported with 34 deaths. Iran, where 978 cases have been reported with 54 deaths. And Japan, where 239 cases have been reported with 12 deaths.
The World Health Organization has urged all countries to prepare for caring for patients severely sickened by the deadly new coronavirus by stocking up on ventilators. The UN Health Agency stressed in its latest situation report on COVID-19 that oxygen therapy is a major treatment intervention for patients with severe COVID-19, but WHO noted that the virus appears to particularly hit those over the age of 60 and people already weakened by other illnesses. The agency noted that most people with the illness only experience mild symptoms, while around 14% suffer severe disease like pneumonia and 5% because they become critically ill.
And France has 130 confirmed cases of coronavirus, raising the count from 100 a day earlier. The French government has put a temporary ban on public gatherings with more than 5,000 people. As of Sunday, there have been over 86,000 cases of the virus globally, the majority in China, according to a tally. Outside of China, it has spread to 53 countries with more than 6,500 cases and more than 100 deaths. Globally, the illness has killed nearly 3,000 people. Meanwhile, the Louvre in Paris, the world's most visited museum, closed to visitors after staff refused to work due to coronavirus fears. Nearly 300 staff members met and voted almost unanimously not to open the museum.
The government has launched a special campaign to take forward the momentum of the empowerment of girls and women through education. Human Resource Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank has said that the ministry will celebrate the International Women's Day in schools and colleges across the country. He said the week-long special theme-based campaign has begun from Sunday in the run-up to International Women's Day on the 8th of March. He said that the campaign will continue throughout the year. The minister said that the government has taken several initiatives since 2014 for the education of the girl child. Now, this is one of the reasons for the success of the scheme of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao, whereas the gross enrollment ratio of girls across all levels of education is now higher than boys.
लड़कियां इस देश में बहुत तेजी से आगे बढ़ रही हैं। अभी हमने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस के अवसर पर कुछ कार्यक्रमों को किया है जो हम 1 तारीख से और लगातार वैसे वर्ष भर चलाएंगे। 6 महीने ये जो लड़कियां हैं वो अपनी क्लास की मॉनिटर होंगे, नुक्कड़ नाटक होंगे, सांस्कृतिक कार्यक्रम होंगे, आलेख होंगे, निबंध प्रतियोगिता होगी, वाद विवाद प्रतियोगिता होगी। आखिर महिला सशक्तिकरण क्यों ऐसा महत्वपूर्ण नंबर होगा स्कूल्स के कहीं से भी कोई यदि कोई हो गया तो वो जो नंबर होगा वो नंबर पर कोई भी अपनी बात कहेगा और उसमें तत्कालिक कार्रवाइयाँ होंगी और विशेष अभियान के लिए हम 1 तारीख से शुरू कर रहे हैं।
And ahead of International Women's Day, Ministry of Women and Child Development has entrusted University Grants Commission to establish 10 chairs in the name of eminent women. Now, these women are achievers in the fields of academics, art, science, environment, administration and social development. Administrator Devi Ahilyabai Holkar, freedom fighter Rani Gaidinilu and performing artist MS Subulakshmi are among this group of 10 eminent women. The main objective is to inspire women to pursue higher education and to achieve excellence in their area of work. This initiative of highlighting and celebrating women achievers of the country will motivate young girls and women towards higher studies.
Educating and empowering the girl child as well as women is a cause that found a mission in the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign, begun by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2015. There are several other initiatives which were launched by the central government to improve the lot of women and help the nation progress. Take a look at a small extract of a special show, Educating Women, Empowering the Nation, in the build-up to International Women's Day on the 8th of this month.
अगर बेटी पैदा नहीं होगी तो बहू कहां से लाओगे? और इसलिए जो हम चाहते हैं वो समाज भी तो चाहता है। हम ये तो चाहते हैं कि बहू तो हमें पढ़ी लिखी मिले, लेकिन बेटी को पढ़ाना है तो 50 बार सोचने के लिए मजबूर हो जाते हैं। ये अन्याय कब तक चलेगा?
Keeping the goal of all-round development firmly in sight, the Indian government gave the clarion call for Beti Bachao Beti Padhao. This has led to gross enrollment ratio of girls being higher than that of boys at all educational levels.
And with the International Women's Day coming up on the 8th of March, Union Minister for Women and Child Development Smriti Irani has called government's Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign a success by stating that it has led to a 25% increase in enrollment of girls in 2018-19 as compared to 2013-14 across all levels of education. This was with 6.18 lakh girls from disadvantaged groups enrolling across 4,881 operational Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas. Now, in addition to this, 28,549 girls have been sanctioned a total of 8.56 crore rupees under national schemes of incentives to girls for secondary education. Now, due to this scheme, girls continue to outshine in CBSE Class 12 as well as Class 10. She further tweeted, and I quote her, Beti Bachao Beti Padhao drive not only led to increase of 13 points in ratio of girl-child at birth, but also resulted in greater enrollment of girls at all levels of school education. We are committed towards ensuring easy access to education for our girls.
And even in higher education, girls have made a mark for themselves. Female student enrollment in higher education has seen an increase of 4.6% in the last 6 years to touch a total enrollment percentage of 48.6%. Total enrollment of women in higher education was at 1 crore 20 lakhs 33,190 in 2010-11, which rose to 1 crore 81 lakhs 89,500 in 2018-19. Whereas the total number of women teaching staff was at 2,84,794 in 2010-11, which rose to 5,97,016 in 2018-19, along with the total number of women non-teaching staff, which rose from 1,53,167 in 2010-11 to 3,99,343 in 2018-19. Union Minister of Women and Child Development Smriti Irani also tweeted saying, "Today, girls comprise 48.6% of the total enrollment of students at higher education level in the country." Not only has enrollment of girls enhanced, there also has been significant increase in number of women staff across higher education institutions.
And girls are breaking glass ceilings, doing what none could imagine until a few decades ago. On International Women's Day, we bring to you the story of a family that, despite being short on resources, did not compromise on building a bright future for their daughters. This family is inspired by the values that guide Beti Bachao Beti Padhao program of the government. The story has been completely shot on a mobile phone.
works as a domestic help. She cooks and cleans at the homes of her employers. But she does not want her children to do what she does. She wants them to receive education and stand on their feet.
आजकल तो बेटों से बेटियां ज़्यादा कमाती है। बेटा और बेटी में फ़र्क क्या है? पढ़ा लिखा के उनको आगे बढ़ाए, अपने लिए अच्छा जॉब मिले, ये सब काम करने की उन लोगों को नौबत ना है। जैसे हम लोग तो पढ़े लिखे नहीं है, तो यही न कर पाएंगे।
A family of 5 lives in this room. Rita's husband is a hawker. With financial constraints, it gets tough for this family to even make both ends meet. But they never let their dire circumstances force them to take their daughters out of school.
मेरी मम्मी ने शायद 5th क्लास या 8th क्लास तक पढ़ी है, बट उनके बाद जो मम्मी ने हमारे लिए सोचा वो बहुत बड़ी बात है कि उन्होंने सोचा अगर मैं नहीं पढ़ी तो क्या हुआ, मेरी बेटियां जरूर पढ़ेंगी।
Diksha too has many aspirations, from buying a house for her parents to rendering service to the nation.
इंडियन आर्मी ज्वाइन करना चाहती हूँ, आर्मी ऑफिसर बनना चाहती हूँ। मम्मी पापा की कोशिश करते हैं लेकिन नहीं हो पाता, तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि मैं पढ़ लेकर कुछ ऐसा करूँ कि मैं उसके तहत अपने मम्मी पापा को घर दे सकूँ, वो सुकून से रहें।
Skewed sex ratio in a country with a growing population led Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch the Beti Padhao Beti Bachao scheme for educating and protecting the girl child. This initiative is transforming the social mindset towards girls. Government statistics show that from 2014 to 2015 to 2018 to 2019, sex ratio became more balanced, improving by 13 points. Change is settling in, including in states like Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. This is the yardstick of the far-reaching impact of the government's Beti Bachao Beti Padhao campaign. Jaya Sinha, DD News, Delhi.
An event was organized in New Delhi on Zero Investment Innovation for Education initiatives, where teachers from across the country were honored for coming up with and using unique ways that could be used in classrooms to bring about positive qualitative improvement in education in the country. Union Minister for Human Resource Development, Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank, awarded the teachers at the event and said that we will be able to empower the coming generations through innovation. And along with this, when the new education policy will be implemented, innovation will gain more importance.
मैंने 10-20 साल पहले कुछ पढ़ा होगा, अब आज तो 100 साल आगे चली गई दुनिया, हर दिन एक नया अनुसंधान होता है। यदि मैं उसी को पढ़ा रहा हूँ तो क्या मैं पीढ़ी को वर्तमान परिस्थितियों का मुकाबला करने की, उन चुनौतियों का मुकाबला करने के लिए तैयार कर रहा हूँ क्या? और इसलिए हमने कहा कि उच्च शिक्षा में अर्पित कार्यक्रम करो, स्कूली शिक्षा में निष्ठा कार्यक्रम करो। मेरा जो ये योद्धा है ये पूरा सजग रहना चाहिए, सारे हथियारों से लैस होना चाहिए, नए अनुसंधान हो रहे हैं, इससे गुजरने चाहिए ताकि अपनी पीढ़ी को एक योद्धा की तरह हर चुनौती का मुकाबला करने के लिए तैयार कर सकें।
And many teachers shared their innovative ideas with us. Let's listen in.
ब्लाइंड बच्चों को मोस्ट ऑफ क्या है, साइंस का कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर करना बहुत ही हार्ड पड़ता है, तो उसके लिए हम मॉडल्स बनाते हैं, चार्ट्स बनाते हैं, जिसमें हमें कोई खर्च नहीं करते हैं। हमारे पास जो घर में ही चीज़ें होती हैं उसी का यूज़ कर लेते हैं।
मैंने एक नवाचार बनाया, आउटलाइन स्कूल। इसके अंतर्गत मैंने अपनी कक्षा के सभी विद्यार्थियों को 5-5 बच्चों के समूह में बांट दिया। वह प्रत्येक समूह के ऊपर मैंने एक बना लीडर। उस लीडर का जिम्मेदारी ये थी कि अपने समूह के हर बच्चे को वह प्रतिदिन स्कूल में लेके आएगा। इससे बच्चे लगातार कक्षा में आना प्रारंभ हो गए।
लॉफ्टर बच्चे हंस के खेल के कैसे सीख सकते हैं, जो हमारा एनवायरनमेंट है स्कूल का, अक्सर बच्चे आते हैं स्कूल तो जी चुराते हैं पढ़ाई से, तो लॉफ्टर से कैसे वो सीख सकते हैं।
All right, interesting. Any innovations there, isn't it, Rukma? No investment innovations, I must say.
Right, and when we talk about women empowerment in the run-up to International Women's Day on the 8th of March, well, the government clearly has been developing and progressing on its multi-pronged approach from, dedicating chairs in universities, not to speak about the progress of the Beti Bachao Beti Padhao and Dolan and so on.
And this is evident on the data, statistical data, which we showed in our reports, and which talk of how the skewed sex ratio is becoming balanced now, isn't it?
And also admission to educational institutions as well.
All right, more power to the girl child in the country. International Women's Day is on 8th of March. Up next, we'll get you other news which we're following. Two Katyusha rockets fell early this morning inside the heavily fortified green zone in the Iraqi capital, that is Baghdad. And also the sources say that one missile landed near the US Embassy. The green zone in Baghdad houses government buildings and foreign missions. According to the security sources, there is no casualties caused. Now, according to eyewitness, sirens went off at US Embassy in Baghdad's green zone after two large explosions were heard near a heavily fortified compound. It was not immediately clear how many missiles stuck in the proximity of the US diplomatic quarters that has repeatedly come under rocket fire in the recent months, with conflicting reports on social media suggesting at least two projectiles might have hit the compound.
And Sri Lanka's parliament will be dissolved today, with general elections likely to be held on the 25th of next month. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, using his powers vested under the constitution of Sri Lanka, will dissolve parliament today. The current parliament will complete its 4.5 years today, following which President has the power to dissolve it and hold fresh elections. President Gotabaya and new government under Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has maintained that they need to get a clear mandate in parliament to implement their policies. Prime Minister Rajapaksa does not hold a majority in the current parliament, and his party is looking for two-thirds majority in the House. The main opposition will be led by Sajith Premadasa, who lost the presidential elections last November to President Gotabaya. And now moving on.
And voting in Israel is underway for an unprecedented third time in a year, and many face yet another deadlocked election ahead of the voting. Israelis have played down the possible effect of coronavirus on their plans to vote. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited a coronavirus call center and urged people to vote without fear. The Central Elections Committee has set up special polling booths for the hundreds of voters quarantined on suspicion of the infection. Most public polling stations will remain open till 10 p.m. Polling stations in small communities with fewer than 350 residents, hospitals and prisons are operational between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
And in the United States, Pete Buttigieg has decided to quit the Democrat race following a crushing loss in the South Carolina primary, where his poor performance signaled an inability to build a broad coalition of voters. The decision comes just 48 hours before the biggest voting day of the primary, Super Tuesday, when 15 states and territories will allot a third of the delegates overall. The results were widely expected to show him far behind Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has rejected a Taliban demand for the release of 5,000 prisoners as a condition for talks with Afghan government and civilians, included in a deal between United States and the Islamic militants. His remarks come against the backdrop of the difficulties U.S. negotiators face in shepherding the Afghan government and Taliban towards intra-Afghan negotiations, according to Western diplomats. The accord said that the United States and Taliban were committed to work expeditiously to release combat and political prisoners as a confidence-building measure, with the coordination and approval of all relevant sides. It said that up to 5,000 jailed Taliban prisoners would be released in exchange for up to 1,000 Afghan government captives by March 10th.
And Greece was in a state of alert on Sunday as it faced an influx of thousands of migrants seeking to cross the border from Turkey, with locals fearing a new immigration crisis. More than 13,000 migrants have gathered on the Turkish side of the Evros River, which runs 200 kilometers along the frontier and separates them from Greece and therefore the European Union. The flow of migrants from Turkey has triggered EU fears of a rerun of the 2015 migrant emergency, when Greece became the main EU entry point for 1 million migrants, most of them refugees fleeing the Syrian civil war. Meanwhile, the Greek police have been attempting to maintain calm and keep the tide of migrants at bay using water cannons on them.
Turkey shot down 2 Syrian warplanes on Sunday in an escalating offensive against the Damascus regime as Ankara pressured Europe over the conflict by opening the border for migrants to cross into the continent. Following weeks of violence in northwestern Syrian province of Idlib, Turkey confirmed a full military operation against Russian-backed Syrian forces after dozens of Turkish soldiers were killed last week in an airstrike blamed on Damascus. Tensions have intensified between Russia and Turkey, who back opposing forces in Syria's civil war, but Ankara has insisted that it does not want to clash directly with Moscow. Syrian state media and Turkish forces targeted 2 of its planes over Idlib, a rebel group, and the Iran-Syrian Observatory for Human Rights both said that planes had been downed.
And meanwhile, an update on new coronavirus in South Korea. Nearly 500 new coronavirus cases have been reported today, sending the largest national total in the world outside China past 4,000. 4 more people have died, taking the toll to 22. Infection numbers have surged in the world's 12th largest economy in recent days, and the country's central bank has warned of negative growth in the first quarter, noting that the epidemic will hit both consumption and exports, while scores of events have been cancelled or postponed over the contagion. Of the 476 new cases announced today, taking the total to 4,212, more than 90% were in Daegu and the neighbouring province of North Gyeongsang.
Up next, updates from the world of business. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the introduction of direct benefit transfer, that is DBT, and GST are being cited as silent revolutions of the country. Speaking to commemorate the 44th Civil Accounts Day on Sunday, the Finance Minister said that India is proud of these achievements as these are being talked about as major reforms. Lauding the civil accountants, the Finance Minister said that they have revolutionized the technology-driven public finance management systems that silently empowered India. She also said that public finance can be efficient and all civil account officers have proven it. She said nearly 1 lakh crore rupees have been saved by efficiently using technologies.
Technology-driven public finance management system that silently has empowered India all over the world, wherever we go. The DBT, the GST are being talked about as one of the silent revolutions a democracy can show off to the world. 1 lakh crore being saved for the country by efficient use of technology without really making anyone feel through efficiency and through efficiently using technology. You've proven that corruption and wrongdoing can be just moved without any kind of emotion attached, moved out of the system.
And Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanta Das will meet chief executives of commercial banks today to take stock of monetary transmission. The issue of dealing with the effects of the coronavirus outbreak on the financial sector is also likely to figure during the interaction. Usually, bank chiefs meet the RBI brass immediately after the monetary policy review. The Monetary Policy Committee met on February 4 to 6 and kept the repo rate unchanged at 5.15%.
Up next, sports. We'll get you update on the India versus New Zealand test, chasing a paltry victory target of 132 runs. New Zealand beat India by 7 wickets in the second test to complete 2-0 series sweep. And that was at Christchurch. India were all out for 124 in the second innings to leave New Zealand with a chase of 132 for a 2-0 whitewash. The hosts completed the job with openers Tom Latham at 52 and Tom Blundell at 55 doing the bulk of the scoring. Kyle Jamieson was declared man of the match. Jasprit Bumrah picked up 2 wickets and Umesh Yadav won after the Kiwi openers had put on a solid 103-run start. That was a stand, and earlier resuming the third day on 90 for 6, India lost overnight batsmen Hanuma Vihari and Rishabh Pant early and it could not also survive for long. For the host, lead pacer Trent Bolt finished with impressive figures of 4 for 28, and his new ball partner Tim Southee was equally good, taking 3 wickets for 30 runs at the Hagley Oval. The pace duo maintained the pressure on the Indian batsmen and picked up wickets quickly to give the home team an opportunity to complete the match with plenty of time to spare.
India's marquee university-level sporting competition, Khelo India University Games 2020, came to an illustrious end after 2 weeks of scintillating action at Bhubaneswar in Odisha. Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju along with Odisha's CM Naveen Patnaik were present at the moment. With 17 gold, 19 silver and 10 bronze, Punjab University remained at the top, followed by Savitribai Phule University with 17 gold, 11 silver and 7 bronze. Punjabi University from Patiala was in third place with 13 gold medals. Addressing the occasion, the sports minister said that his goal is to take India to the top 10 in the Olympics after 2028. Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik to express satisfaction at the way his state organized the games.
Khelo India University Games 2020 concluded on Sunday with a simple but impressive closing ceremony, but not before Punjab University pipped Savitribai Phule Pune University with a last gasp effort to be crowned champions of the inaugural edition. Trailing by just 1 gold on the penultimate day, Punjab snatched the last 2 golds in boxing to topple Pune University, who could only manage 1 athletics gold on the final day. The 2 dominant universities ended up with 17 golds each, but Punjab University, with a tally of 46 medals, 19 silver and 10 bronze, as against Pune's 37, 11 silver and 9 bronze, walked away with the coveted trophy. The second runners-up trophy went to Punjabi University with a total medal tally of 33. 13 gold, 6 silver and 14 bronze. Attended by a host of dignitaries led by Chief Minister of Odisha, Naveen Patnaik, Union Sports Minister Kiren Rijiju, IOA President Dr. Narendra Dhruv Batra, Sports Minister of Odisha Tushar Kanti Behera and Secretary General of AIU Dr. Pankaj Mittal. The closing ceremony fittingly celebrated the athletes and their triumphant universities.
Youth Games अलग से होगा, University Games अलग से होगा. 7 तारीख इसी महीने के 7 तारीख को फर्स्ट एवर खेलो इंडिया विंटर गेम्स कश्मीर में शुरू होने जा रहा है. हम हर दृष्टि से भारत को एक खेल महाशक्ति बनाने के लिए पूर्ण जोर हम कोशिश करते रहेंगे. आप याद रखिए, हमारा टारगेट है 2028 के बाद हम ओलंपिक्स में टॉप 10 में पहुंचना है भारत देश.
Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik expressed satisfaction at the way his state organized the games. Host University KIIT's founder Dr. Achyuta Samanta thanked everybody involved in making the games a success and pointed out that they had less than 2 months to put everything in place and pull it off.
We are very much happy for one thing. All the 4,000 players and 2,000 or more than officials are happy. That is the indication of the success of this first ever Khelo India University Games, a dream project of Honorable Prime Minister of India.
As many as 64 universities claimed at least 1 gold, while 113 institutions went home with at least 1 medal after 10 days of competition. Swimmers Sadhvi Dhuri of Savitribai Phule Pune University and Siddhant Sejwal of Punjab University were the most successful athletes at the Games, with 5 gold medals each.
The curtains may have come down on the first ever Khelo India University Games in Odisha, but the spirit remains alive. The athletes will now aim for glory in the international arena after getting a taste of it in this edition of Khelo India University Games. With cameraman Smriti Irani, this is Tapush Bhattacharya, DD News, Bhubaneswar.
Time now to get you what made this day, 2nd of March, special in history.
In 1807, the American Congress passed a law prohibiting the import of slaves into the country. This was an important step towards the abolition of slavery. On this day in 1836, Texas declared independence from Mexico. George Campbell Childress, a lawyer, was the principal author of the Texas Declaration of Independence. On this day in the year 1949, freedom fighter and poet Sarojini Naidu, also known by the sobriquet the Nightingale of India, passed away in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. She took part in the national movement, became a follower of Mahatma Gandhi and fought for the attainment of Swaraj. She was the first governor of Uttar Pradesh. She was awarded the Kaisar Hind Medal by the British government for her work during the plague epidemic in India. On this day in 1972, Pioneer 10, the world's first outer planetary probe, was launched from Cape Canaveral in Florida, USA, on a mission to Jupiter. Pioneer 10 reached Jupiter and sent back to Earth the first close-up images of the spectacular gas giant.
Women have unique health issues, and some of these issues that affect both men and women could affect women differently. Unique issues include pregnancy, menopause, and conditions of the female organs. In our health segment, we tell you more in this report.
There are a number of risks to the women's health. Women have to face variety of health challenges in different phases of their life.
In the adolescent girls are problems of anemia because they are compounded with menarche, growth and development, and also it is very, very necessary that every woman or every girl should be educated about anemia. Whenever there is there are signs of weakness and all that, she should be administered, iron and folic acid tablets, which are available free of cost under the different government schemes. The second important thing is also that she should be eating right kind of food in home settings. So it is important that they get married at right age, and they also should have first child. At least 2 years of interval should be there between her marriage and her bearing the first child, for which her empowerment is very, very necessary. Again, we have to be very conscious that she is not anemic. She is having right kind of advice regarding contraception, and when she becomes pregnant, she must go to the healthcare facility, and she must go for regular antenatal checkups where we are testing her for anemia, where we are doing her blood grouping, typing and all that. We are doing her pregnancy checkup. It is important that she gives birth to a child in the institution or in the hospital.
It is essential for every female to be cautious about health and take preventive measures to reduce the risk of illnesses.
The problems which are related to aging would be menopause. That is the first important problem. Then the second important problem are that she may suffer from different problems related to mental health, like aloofness, dementia, Alzheimer's and all that. So she has to be empowered enough how to keep herself busy in the aging years. She must be taught about what are the early warning signals of cancer. That means we have to take care that she is aware of that there is no discharge from the nipples, there is no discharge from cervix, so that we can do the diagnosis and treatment at a very early stage.
Being aware about the unusual signs and regular health checkups may help to pick up the diseases at an early stage. Leading an active life may help to keep away health problems and ensure healthy life for women. Kiran Bhardwaj, DD News.
And up next are another report, the ground report which we get for you every morning. Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana has benefited the farmers of Chitradurga district of Karnataka. How important is this scheme for them and how is it working at the grassroots level? Let's take a look at this ground report.
Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi is effectively getting implemented in Chitradurga of Karnataka, which has helped the sons of soil to a great extent. Since the money under the scheme is getting directly credited to the bank accounts of the farmers, there is no scope for middlemen to take advantage of the situation. Farmers in various villages in Chitradurga have welcomed the scheme.
This scheme has helped me. With the Kisan Samman money, I purchased fertilizer and seeds with which I have grown ragi. I have got good crops this time.
I have received the money in my account. I will use it to buy seeds. I must say the scheme is very beneficial.
Sum of Rs 2,000 in 3 installments have been credited into the bank accounts of 2,093 farmers in Nayak Kannahatti, and in Chitradurg, nearly 2 lakh farmers have enrolled under the scheme and Rs 110 crores have been disbursed so far. Along with Rs 6,000 from centre, Rs 4,000 from state government is also credited to the accounts of farmers. From Report Desk, DD News.
And time now to take a look at temperatures recorded across the country in our weather report.
Alright, that's it in this edition of Breakfast Show. But before we go, we leave you with images every day which are good and which have that feel-good factor, which I'm sure stays with you for the rest of the day, isn't it, Rukma?
Right, and today we bring you glimpses of Himachal Pradesh's Nati dance, organized in Shimla. The festival of the local deity is organized every 20 years. So take a look at
Have a great
these.
day ahead.
Right.